Let me tell you something most people don't hear. You're not bad with money. You're carrying a money trauma, and it started long before you ever earned your first paycheck. If you grew up in a home where money was always a source of stress, like it felt there was never enough, or money caused fights, or you just had to endure trying times, then those experiences are still shaping how you save, spend, invest, and even think today. In this video, we're going to talk about how childhood shapes your financial behavior as an adult, how poverty mindset develops, and most importantly, how you can break the cycle for good. Welcome to Cash Circus, the place to sort money matters, with me, Celeste Carillo. Money trauma is a form of emotional or psychological stress created by financial hardship or instability. People think trauma needs to be dramatic, like losing a house or going bankrupt. But trauma can come from moments like this: hearing your parents whisper about bills, watching them fight about expenses, being told we can't afford that over and over, feeling unsafe because money controlled everything, having to grow up too fast because of finances, feeling guilty for every small request, being told rich people are greedy, being told being poor is normal. These moments quietly teach your brain one message: money is danger. So now, as an adult, the moment you open your banking app, think about investing or to try to save, your body goes into survival mode or a losing mode. Let's break this down into clear patterns you may recognize. Number one, the fearful saver. You hoard money, you avoid risks, you're scared of investing because you grew up watching money disappear. Example, you finally save 10,000 pesos or $200, and instead of feeling proud, you feel terrified you'll lose it. That's trauma. The impulsive spender. You buy things quickly without thinking because growing up you rarely got anything you wanted. Now, adulthood feels like revenge. For example, you get your salary and suddenly, I deserve this because of past feelings of deprivation. Number three, the avoider. You don't check your balance, you delay paying bills, you ignore financial responsibilities, not because you're lazy, but because every money task reminds you of your childhood stress. Number four, the over responsible one. You feel guilty about spending money on yourself. You prioritize every else's needs. You're hyper vigilant because you grew up thinking money equals responsibility and sacrifice. That's, you guessed it, trauma. Number five, the self sabotager. You start saving, then suddenly ruin your progress. Why? Because deep down, abundance feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. You guessed it right, trauma. You may be recognizing these patterns, but are just now learning that these have been an anchor to you. I feel you. I have lived through the same patterns myself. At this point, you may want to leave, let the pattern sit with you, and come back later. These patterns are not easy to digest. Anyway, let's continue. Now that we have discussed the past or the environment you were raised in and the way these money traumas appear in your habits and decisions, let's talk about these how these have defined money for you unconsciously. The poverty mindset is not about income, it's about conditioning. It's the belief that money doesn't last, money is hard to earn, people like me don't get rich, opportunities aren't for us, better to enjoy now because tomorrow is uncertain. Rich people have advantages we don't. These are how your mind was wired. You may not be conscious of these, but these are like the type of blood that runs in your vein. They are embedded into your own financial system. This mindset is not your fault. It's inherited or acquired. If you live paycheck to paycheck long enough, sadly, your brain adapts. Your brain becomes so good at keeping yourself safe or keeping you from reliving your past that you forget to be reasonable about your present. Because survival mode and success mode, they cannot exist at the same time. But the good news is mindsets can be learned. Your trauma does not have to linger with you forever, does not have to control you. There are ways to live with your past, but alter your future. Now let's talk about how trauma controls your financial habits and decisions. Example, you undercharge your skills because you learned not to ask for too much. This is how trauma is affecting you. You overwork without increasing income because scarcity taught you that work is not equal to money, but it is equal to sacrifice. You feel unsafe having money, so you hold it in your chest like a treasure, afraid to let it go, afraid to invest it. This is how trauma affects you. You receive your paycheck and you run to the mall. You spend it all before you have to spend it for something else. Or you don't spend for something good for you, like a good running shoes for your health because money is too important, more important than your health. This is how scarcity undermines your well being. You avoid investing because the fear of loss feels bigger than the potential gain. You'd rather endure a crappy apartment than to be exposed to losing your money. This is how trauma messes up with your ideas about investment. These aren't personality flaws. These are not the way you are. These are not the life you were given and you just have to live with it. You may say you don't have a choice. You actually do. They are trauma responses disguised as financial habits. Now, so far, we have discussed the past and the environment you were raised in and the ways these money trauma appear in your habits and decisions. We have also discussed how these have defined money for you unconsciously, how these are embedded in your blood, so to speak. And then we have discussed how these control your decisions and habits. By the way, take your time to pause this video if you have to digest the information. Allowing to sit with this makes your healing more powerful. This is not going anywhere. You can save this video, and you might also want to share this to someone who may need it. Let's talk about the way out of this, the most important part of this video. Here's the part people don't talk about. Money trauma is fixable. Buckle your seatbelts, my friend, because this can change your life. When it comes to trauma, money trauma, you don't fix it with budgeting. You fix it with understanding. Let's go through this step by step. Step 1. Which story looks familiar to you? Whenever these stories of the past, wherever this story of scarcity come up, like undercharging, overworking, fear of investing, overspending, underspending, catch them. Hold them in your head. Be aware of how you feel or think about money. Get to know yourself. Awareness is the first layer of healing. Step 2. Create safety before strategy. What I mean is, try to make yourself feel safe before you change your habits. For example, when you are to check your balance, take deep breaths. Don't pressure yourself. Set small financial goals like an X amount of savings a month. Celebrate 100 peso or $100 wins. Dance around or treat yourself for an ice cream. Talk to yourself gently when you feel triggered. Step 3. Start with micro behavior shifts. Not a full budget, not a huge investment, tiny steps like save $50 or 50 pesos a month, or invest $100 or 100 peso. Automate one bill, just one. Track one expense. Small wins prove your brain wrong in a gentle way. Try to do these consistently. Small but consistent. If you miss doing something, always try to get back. Persist. Step 4. Change your language. Your language or self-talk is powerful. Change it. Example, when someone asks you if you're going to buy an item and you feel triggered, you can say, "No, it's not where I want to spend my money," instead of, "I can't afford it." When you feel an urge to undercharge, remember they are also paying not only for your output but also for the time and energy that you cannot take back. They're also paying for the skill that you have learned for years. Say something like, "This price is fair to me." Give yourself permission to be fair to yourself. Whenever you don't want to spend for yourself, for your health, say to yourself, "My physical and mental health are important in making good financial decisions. Therefore, I need to buy this in order to take care of myself." Whenever you feel like spending it all in one go, because you might just spend it for something else, you might want to say, "Money comes, I have a way to earn it, I am talented and skilled, or I can grow this money instead so I don't have to feel I always will run out." Whenever you feel scared to invest, say something like, "My money can grow by investing even if it feels scary. I will just have to find a way to make it comfortable for me." Whenever you feel like you have to work hard for money, say to yourself, "I need a break," or "I want to have time for pleasure or for myself." Money is not running out. It will always be there to come to me. And right now, my need to rest or recharge is what my body and mind need. Everything else can wait. By catching your thoughts about money and shifting them about self care or financial growth or financial freedom or independence, you are rewiring your brain. You are reconfiguring it from the old system. And the more frequently you do it, the more stable your patterns become. Soon, these new patterns won't need much of your attention. Step 5, reparent your financial self. If you grew up feeling unsafe, be the adult you needed. Tell yourself in the face of financial decisions, I'm allowed to build wealth. I'm allowed to feel safe. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to want more. Be your own caretaker. Be your own lawyer defending your self maintenance, your financial growth, your financial freedom. Defend it to yourself. Now, we have discussed quite a lot for the day, haven't we? So far, we have discussed the past and the environment you may have been raised in, the ways these money trauma appear in your habits and decisions, and how these have defined money for you unconsciously, how they have controlled your decisions, and of course, how you can rewire your money configuration. I want you to remember this. You didn't create your money trauma. You acquired it or inherited it. But breaking the cycle, that's your power. You're not behind. You're not irresponsible. You're not bad with money. You just have to pull out the money maker in you. And the greatest thing about healing your money trauma is that you heal a lot of other things too. Your future, your family line, your career, your relationship traumas. You heal one thing and the rest gets affected. It's contagious. And also, you become a way for others to heal themselves too. I hope you find this video valuable. Feel free to check my other videos on spending, investing, trading. Until then, may the force be with you.